Where is it you want your real estate investing to take you? This is a question that has to be answered before you call your agent and get out there and start looking at properties. You need to know where you're going and how you're going to get there and what vehicle you're going to use before you take off. After all, this is your money and your future in retirement we're talking about. Give you a little example. I love to ride bicycles, and yesterday I got on my road bike and I took off with the goal of hitting 30 miles before I made it back home. The problem was when I got back home and I looked at my mileage tracker, I'd only gone 26.04 miles. The reason is I winged it. Now, I've gone on 100-mile bike rides and I sit down and I plan it on the map. I know exactly where I'm going to stop for a glass of water. I know we're going to stop for a nutrition bar. And when I get done, I hit my goals. But when I just go out and wing it with an idea of doing 30, I ended up at 26. I tell you that because I don't want you to get to your retirement and realize you're short, and short by a significant amount. So let's talk about your criteria and how we can make your criteria work for you and your retirement. So part of setting your criteria is figuring out the purpose of the next real estate investment you're going to purchase. Are you looking for the cash or are you looking for the growth? Are you looking for somewhere in the middle? These are important questions to get answered now before you start looking for a home. Let me give you an example. Some of the investors that come to me are looking for cash flow from the houses. That's the primary purpose that they're looking for. If you're looking for cash flow, you have to do one of two things. You have to put down huge amounts of money if you're looking in the bell curve and the luxury type homes, or you have to find homes maybe on the lower third of the economic scale that you're getting much better rents from than the cash you have invested. There is an inverse proportion to how much cash flow you're going to get versus how much appreciation you're going to get. You need to get that through your heads, because I have a lot of investors come to me and they not only want the good appreciation, but they want the good cash flow. But there's almost a direct inverse proportion. If you have cash flow up here and appreciation down here, when you start to trade those, it just goes like this. I promise you, you'll find that true in most cases. So the first thing I need you to ask yourself is where you are on your investing scale. Are you 20-something, or are you 40-something, or are you 50-something? Do you need cash now? Do you need to build that cash as we go? Are you looking to quit your job through real estate investing, through buy and hold real estate investing? Or are you looking to supplement your retirement? You've already got a good income. You've already got some stocks over here and some savings accounts over here. And now you just need some investment vehicles that include real estate for another path towards a good retirement. Figure out what you're looking for, and we can talk about this in another video. But are you looking for cash, or are you looking for growth? That's a very important question to get answered now before you get started. Another very important piece of the puzzle is what is the return rate you're looking for from your next investment property. If you know that, you can start narrowing down the properties rather quickly. But you need to understand that real estate is not as liquid as other investment vehicles like maybe gold or stocks or bonds. You can't sell real estate tomorrow or the day after. It can take 30, 60, 90, 120 days in a good market, and it can take a year in a bad market, maybe even longer if you've bought poorly. So real estate is not as liquid as some other investments, so you need to make sure that your return rates account for that. Your return rates are going to help you discover how quickly it will take you to get to your goal of a retirement worth having. Your return rate that you might be looking for is 10% cash on cash. I hear that a lot. It might be a 13 to 14% overall return. If you're looking for a cap rate of 8, we'll talk about how to measure returns in a whole nother set of videos, but I really want you to think about what's the return number that's going to let you sleep comfortably at night knowing that you're going to get to the retirement worth having. Now the question you need to ask yourself is, do you want to buy multifamily homes or single family homes? Multifamily homes can come in a variety of shapes and sizes. They can be 2 units, duplex, a 4-plex. You can get a small apartment building, 8 plexes and above. Just keep this in mind with multifamily homes. The good news is about multifamily homes is if you've got a 4-plex and one of them is empty, hey, you still got 75% of your income coming in, and that way you can get those mortgages and bills paid. The Other good news is they're all located in one place, and if you get a couple fourplexes next to each other or a couple duplexes next to each other, it cuts down on your driving and your management responsibilities when you're only hiring one lawn crew or one roofing crew to just take care of all that kind of stuff. So the maintenance tends to be easier on multifamily homes. Some of the negatives include, well, if you start stacking tenants on top of each other, sometimes the tenants don't like each other, and that can add to the management headaches if they're constantly calling you about what Fred and Mary are doing. Also, when you go to sell them, they tend to take a little bit longer than single family homes to sell, and you tend to sell them to mostly investors, and investors tend to be a little bit better at the negotiation game. When you get above 4 units, your financing changes tremendously as well. If you buy a single family home, a duplex, or a fourplex, you can usually use standard financing on those kinds of things. But once you go to 5 units and above, now you're talking about a commercial loan. And commercial loans are usually amortized over 15 and 20 years instead of 30 years. So those are some things to think about with multifamily homes, the good and the bad. The good and the bad with single family homes is, well, the good is you tend to get a little bit better class of tenant in there. They tend to want to stay a little bit longer because they tend to have school-aged children, and they want to stay in that home during the school years. We see that a lot in the management business that we run. You will also find that when you go to sell those, you're selling them to Joe and Mary homebuyer rather than Joe the investor, and it makes a huge difference on what you might be able to get on that home on the back side. The problem is management can be spread out all over the place because you might own one home over here and another one 10 miles away, another one 6 miles away. There's good and bad in each. And I'm going to be frank with you that over the 12 years that I've been helping people with real estate investing, there's been times when I've almost exclusively recommended multifamily homes because that's what the market was showing was the best value. And then there's been times in my career when it's just been single family homes that I've really been recommending. So think about those kinds of things. Look at your current market with a knowledgeable investment real estate agent and figure out what path you want to go to and what housing style you would like to have in your investment portfolio.